First of all, your assessment of the day's play.
I thought a very good day's cricket, a very hard-fought day's cricket as well. I thought we bowled particularly well as a group. Davies coming up the hill like he does, and all the bowlers to hold the areas they did for long periods of time is exactly what we want. So I think as a bowling unit, very, very good. Jofra obviously got 5 wickets, which is great, but I think as a unit we were fantastic today.
Let's go back to the toss, because Luke won the toss and elected the field first. What was the thinking behind Luke's decision?
We just felt there was a little bit in the wicket, there was a little bit of moisture there that we wanted to use, and we know that Hove can get lower and slower as the game goes on. And we felt there was enough there to sort of knock them over earlier, and I think had it gone away and had we caught our catches, we might have done that.
We'll come back to catches in a moment. Must have been good for you as a coach to be able to select Philander and welcoming Chris Jordan as well back into this game.
Absolutely. I mean, it shows we've got a good bowling attack out there. We've got a good four-prong attack, and Steve wasn't quite ready for the game. Thought he might have had an outside chance, but it was too high risk to take him into the game, having not sort of bowled enough really. So, but still to have those four and Briggsy to back them up as well. You know, it's a very strong attack, and to have Vernon and Chris in the team again was really good news for us. And
deliberately, was that an attacking line-up as well, Mark? Because effectively you've gone in with sort of 5 specialist batsmen.
Definitely, I think we have to be attacking, and I think we have to, you know, we've got a number of all-rounders at the back end there as well. So if we get the ball old, we get the ball to 35, 40 overs, it becomes an easier game, if you like, and we rely obviously on our all-rounders coming in at sort of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11 if you like. So we've got Briggsy at 11, so we've got a good batting line-up, but it's still up to the guys in the top 5, top 6 to do the hard work and get the runs, and we'll certainly be trying to do that tomorrow.
You alluded there to the fielding. How much of a problem is this becoming, Mark?
Well, I mean, you know, we put a lot of work in. No catch in the slips is easy. So we put a lot of work in, and to be fair to Nash, he catches a lot. We catch every single day, practice, sometimes twice a day, and he certainly puts his work in. So when you drop catches and you put your work in, you just got to put your hand up and you're going to move on. You know, I think the issues come in when you don't put the work in and then you drop catches. So that certainly isn't the case. It's the nature of the game. You go through periods where you do drop catches, and yes, we have dropped a number of catches, which does cost you, and we'll try and eradicate that. But it's the game as well.
Talking about catches, what about the catch that was but wasn't by David Fee? So just tell us about that incident, Mark.
Didn't actually see the catch. I was actually watching the cricket on the telly inside the dressing room, so I didn't actually see the catch. I saw the shot, I didn't see the catch, but Dave felt he caught it fair and square. The umpire didn't, and told the batter he wasn't out. So that's just what went on.
What was the line of communication there? Because did David Visa say, did the umpire ask him whether he'd caught it, or?
I don't think so. I think actually Dave thought he caught the ball and threw it up as though he had caught it, and the umpire at square leg felt that he hadn't caught it cleanly. So I think he immediately got involved and said he didn't think it was a fair catch. So we leave it at that.
What did Luke was speaking to the umpires? I mean, was Sussex disappointed in that decision, Mark?
I think you are disappointed. You obviously you're in the heat of the contest, and you know it's a very important time in the game as well. So it was a very important wicket, and obviously at the time it does influence the game, and that's such is life. You've got to take it on the chin sometimes and move on.
A difficult time to bat with those 11 overs, because effectively Durham gets on 2 bites with the new cherry, really.
Yeah, no, it is. It's always a bit of a death session there for 11, 12 overs at the back end of the day, but I felt Wellesley played particularly well, and so did Chris. She got one that bounced. Happens as well against a new ball, and bit unlucky to get one to go through the top a little bit and bounce. But once again, I think we played really, really well for 11 overs there, and certainly when we come back tomorrow, we know there's a lot of hard work ahead. We feel when the ball does get a bit older, it becomes a bit easier to bat against, and we'll certainly be trying to get a first innings lead.
A couple other things on team selection. Luke Wells coming back into the game. He hasn't played virtually any cricket, but came in at the expense of Delray Rawlings. What was the thinking behind that, Mark?
Well, obviously Luke's been there, done that before, you know, and I think Dell started really well for us. He's a very exciting young talent. Hasn't really got the runs behind him either, so it was basically a toss-up between somebody who's coming back to play and somebody who hasn't particularly been getting loads of runs. And we just felt that somebody who'd been there before and faced the attack before and got 100 against Durham a couple of years ago, so he's more established as a first-class batter, and we felt best and fresh, get him in the game.
And coming back to Steve McGoffin, where do you see McGoffin's injury now? Is it sort of a case of him missing this game so he could play at Tunbridge Wells? Or?
Well, I think so. I think to ask Steve to play the 2 games is a big ask, you know, to play this one and the next one at Tunbridge Wells a day later. So I think we felt that he was going to play one of the 2, and then obviously hopefully give him a bit longer to recover and a bit longer to get some more overs under his belt. He's going to play in the second team as well and get some overs done, and then I think he'll be in good shape to take on Kent at Tunbridge Wells.
Final question, day 2 coming up tomorrow. How do you see that day shaping up?
600 for 3 and bowler Martin there 4.
It's a good track. I mean, you know.
No, it's a good take. I mean, there are a couple of balls in there that have done a bit as well. So I think if you bowl well on the wicket, you'll be effective, and if you bat well, you can score runs. I mean, that was showed today as well. You know, the ball did go past the bat a little bit. There was a little bit of indifferent bounce, and I think more so with the older ball, with the new ball at least. So I think it's going to be a really exciting day's cricket.